Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about my little Harbor Freight blast cabinet I got about a year ago. Now, I did a video on it when I first got it and showed the modifications that I did to make it worth owning. But a lot of people said I didn't give enough detail. So we're going to go through the details of how to keep it from clogging and how to keep it from leaking dust all over the place. It's a couple minor modifications and it makes it worth having. So let's go have a look. When you buy one of these, it comes with a gasket kit, and you can put them all along the seams and along all the openings, and it'll keep the dust down, sort of. It doesn't really work. The problem you've got is you're putting air inside the cabinet, and the air needs someplace to go. And when it blows out, it blows dust everywhere. So to get around that, we added a dust collector. Now this one came from Harbor Freight. It was a Central Machinery 1 horsepower dust collector. However, you can buy these things all over the place. If you're happening upon Harbor Freight, like in the next week or so, they've got these things clearanced for $70. And that's a pretty cheap price. But you're going to have to look because they're clearance and they're not carrying them anymore. This is the same exact one that about 9 other companies carry for a whole lot more money. The blast cabinet comes with this little cuff, and the lip on it comes up to about here. And all we needed was a way to attach it to our dust collector. So what I did is I went to Lowe's and picked up these little rubber fittings, I guess, and a couple of hose clamps and 2-inch PVC. So we just made a 90, then went down to a 45, and then back to another 90. And the combination of 2 90s and a 45 allow you a lot of flexibility to put this underneath. And if your shop's anything like mine, you want to use your space as efficiently as possible. There's a whole range of them out there, ranging from really big to pretty small to the little bucket tops. And this is the only one I found that actually fit underneath the machine. The next problem we have is the gun clogs. And it's very true. This gun clogs to no end when you first buy it. And everybody tells you to go buy a more expensive gun, and you don't have to. This gun works fine. The problem is the pickup tube. Now the pickup tube on this one, I've modified, and I've added a little hole, and you can see it's a 2-wall pipe inside, and the little hole goes through both walls of the pipe on the part where there's the little space in between them. And that solves everything. If you look at the more expensive, where's it at? If you look at the more expensive gun, they always have that hole in the pipe, and I couldn't figure out why. And I did a little research, and it turns out that just simply allows for more vacuum. What it does is where it starts clogging here, the air will come through here, and it'll pick up everything, and it'll clear out more easily. Now, if you're thinking about buying a blast cabinet and you don't have experience with it, keep in mind that they need a ton of air. Imagine them needing a whole bunch of air and then triple that, and that's how much they need. They need a ton of air. I started with a 13-gallon, 175 PSI compressor that worked like a charm for everything in the building. It ran grinding guns and all that, worked great. It was not nearly enough for the cabinet. I'd run for 15 seconds and the compressor would come on. And then I'd have to wait for it to stop. I'd run for 15 seconds and it came on again. I ended up going with a 4-horse, 60-gallon compressor. That works like a charm. It's a great big thing, but it's expensive. So all of a sudden your $200 blast cabinet, you're into it for well over $1,000 before you've done anything. Now, if you're using it and you're sandblasting and it stops working, all you have to do is take this tube and go up and down a couple of times. Or what I always do is I do this. I hold it and then spray it, and it blows backwards through it, and it clears the pipe instantly. Okay, enough talking about it. Let's go find something rusty, and let's show you how it works. Now, just to make it easy to use, I've set mine up so that the dust collector and the light both come on the same switch. And I found a power strip with a fat switch on it. So everything's turned on. So let's sandblast something. I found this lawnmower blade. Oh, that's okay, there you go, you just slid down. I found this lawnmower blade that, of course, everybody has a lawnmower blade with rust on it. So the first thing we'll do is clear the gun. And you can see the dust inside clears out almost immediately. And you can see our results are ridiculous. The center, where there's always a ton of rust, that's clear. And there's the compressor. Now this compressor will actually catch up and pass me, so it'll turn off. So let's have a look at it. Let's take this out. So now you can see that big rusty area is just gone. It's completely clean, and it took about 15 seconds. Now you'll also find yourself doing things like spark plugs. You can see this is fouled out. I was testing different jets, and that was a little too rich. And you've got a clean spark plug, just that fast. Okay, now we've established this little blast cabinet with a couple little modifications, does a great job. But now we have to look at the bad part. The cost of owning this blast cabinet isn't just the blast cabinet, it's all the little things you need to make it run correctly. So the blast cabinet, as it sits right now, is $230. You're going to spend about $200 on a dust collector that's comparable to the one we've got here. You're going to spend about $30, $35 on PVC, and that air compressor is $990. It's an expensive toy. Now, we're not counting the air hoses or any of that stuff, but we're $1,500 into this to own your own blast cabinet, and you got to find a place to put this big guy. Now, if you're like me, I did the math. You probably get the blast cabinet for $200, find a dust collector for $70 on sale, or maybe even find one used on Facebook that works really good. Now, I got that air compressor for like 30 or 40% off, and I only paid $750 for it, I think, but it was $1,100 when I bought it. So you're still $1,100 into it, as opposed to $1,500 if you pay retail, and you're paying tax on that. And here in Texas, the tax is 8.25, so you add another $82. No, you won't. You'll add another $120 to the total. So you're $1,350 into it. $1,350? No, I'm sorry, $1,250. That's getting deals. Getting every deal you can find, you'll be into it, almost $1,300. So is it worth it? Absolutely. I love mine. Is it worth it for you? Well, it takes up a lot of space in the shop. It is great to have that compressor, and I do use mine almost every day because I've always got something rusty sitting around that I want to make shiny and paint or something. Even cleaning spark plugs saves you time and money because you saw how fast that was. So my verdict is a gotta have, but plan on it being expensive. So all you new people out there, if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. It's free and it's what we work for. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.